So what's the difference between jam and jelly? You can't jelly your cock up a dead girl's ass.
Oh!
We're shifting this bitch today.
The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
That's good stuff. Well, you never had rocket fuel before? A little bit of vodka, a little bit of Mountain Dew. Hey, it gets the job done in my enterprise. So as this introduction continues or unfolds, I'll tell you all about how I made this monstrosity. It starts with the shifter itself. It's from a place called Kilduff, or Kilduff Lightning Rod Shifter is what it is. It comes out of a little company in California. The guy or the company, the little company that made it, they deserve some recognition because this is badass. It's not something you'll find in an Auto Value or an O'Reilly's or a fucking Toys R Us. This is built to last and built to order, so a little bit pricey, but it's worth every penny. Post a link about it because he's got dozens of different styles. Not just this. This one just fits the bill of this car and its purpose. The front part, that just imitates the look and appearance of a Lenko shifter. Don't do jack shit, it's just appearances, but just enhances the look. So I call it a Lightning Lenko hybrid, so it's just there. It just adds more flair to it, but this is all functional. So as I finish this cocktail, you can watch the rest of the montage and how I assemble this all. Have fun. That's just a rough outline with a rough cut of the back part of this console. I'm doing it side by side. Doing this side first, driver's side. I'm going to do the passenger side. And I'm not going to make it permanent just yet. One side will mirror the other, so what I'm doing here will match the other side. So for symmetry, you know, however I make this side, I'm just going to duplicate that, work on the other side. So right here that butts up against the driver's seat, you got the seat belts. One for masochism, one if you just want to be normal.
Oh, God.
So it's anchored down right there, as you can see, and that's just going to get in the way of that. So we're just going to make it like an access for it to go through. Now I could use a hole saw, and that would work, but then you would have to fucking take that off for this to release if you have to do anything fancy. So I'm just going to sleeve it over, and this will just be in the back seat area. So a lot of test fitting and swearing and bitching.
Goddamn son of a bitch!
You got something here. I got the back piece. That's where the seat belts will go through. This is the front piece. This is obviously curved towards the driver's side. Mirror the opposite will be like this for the passenger side. But the 2D dimensional cuts, that's what I'm focusing on now. So I overlaid that on the other sheet. So I'm going to do some rough cuts here and just basically double it over, and this should fit on that side. And when it's all, you know, lined up against each other and it looks like it fits right, then I'll assemble it all. Well, I decided to go whole hog on this. And when the bet my cards on the fact that if I just bolt it all together, it's just going to drop right in. And I cut them all just like the other side, so it all mirrors each other, symmetry-wise.
And this one's about using both hands. It's not just about doing this, okay?
So I'm just basically just going to put a few screws in, just to hold in place. Unfortunately, the hole right here, just like the other side, so I'm going to have to basically skip every other hole because this will hit the top one. So for the bottom ones will be here, the top ones will be in between, so they'll leapfrog over each other. I mean, you don't need to use every damn hole, so for the sake of appearances, like I always just, for every hole that I don't use on the top, I can just take one of these fashers, cut the heads off, and just jibby weld over the ones that I abandoned, or leapfrog over just for aesthetics. I mean, even if it's like this, every other one, it's still enough to keep this thing anchored. Well, it's looking like something.
Now that's fucked up.
Aside from rearranging a few screws, it's going pretty good. I just gotta do the back part and see how it fits. You know, I wasn't sure if this metal would work because it seems kind of flimsy on its own. It's a 20 gauge, but it does firm up pretty good once you put some supports all over it. So it might be just enough. The back part done, and hopefully that's the end of this part. Well, let's see if this fits. Not all the screws are in, it's just enough to make it one piece. And I still have to do some rearranging on the screws on top and the screws on the side. Well, maybe if I cut them down just a little bit, they can both coexist side by side. I'm more curious to see if this is going to work, just laying flat over the transmission hump. So let's see what this does. That looks pretty bitchin' to me. Now usually when I see stuff like this, it go right up to the firewall. But I don't know if I want to even bother with that. It looks pretty concealed underneath the dashboard in itself right now. And if you're just casually walking by it or even looking in,
peering through her window in the middle of the night and violating her privacy in the most grotesque manner imaginable.
I mean, the only real way you're going to know that it just stops short right there, if you're just going to be like this, that's, you know, not everyone's going to be up that close in person unless they really want to know, and I wouldn't really fucking care. I mean, I'm not that much of a perfectionist.
And I'm like, shit, you bitch! What are you trying to do? You know I can't color in the lines!
Although it will continue on back, that's for damn sure. Now as for mounting it to the floor, I'm just going to take a step drill bit and just barbarically just sheet metal it to the side and do the same to the other side. It'll straighten out. Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. It's going to be a bit jiggly.
The fresh air feels good.
Not that I can't firm it up with some, you know, brackets here and there, or conceal some angle iron and whatnot. What's next to do is, this is going to be below. It's 4 inches tall. I got about 11 inches here from floor to here, so I got room to play. I'm going to take this face cover off, 4 screws, angle grinder this, angle grind that off, so I basically just got a square face, measure that, place it over here, you know, cut a rectangle shaped hole. You know, this will go in, and then I'll basically take this, and I'll overlay this. The face of this will be over this. It'll be like a patch with these coming through. And I'll have to modify that one if I want to have that extra, that extra mechanical look. Those three will work. This one's too short, so it'll bottom out. No big deal. I'll do that last. Fucking A, that looks good.
Beautiful. Definitely a thing of beauty.
This is what I've been thinking about for about 1.5 years since I had this shifter. Something like that. This is a fuck you shifter. It's one of those things that mean business. Everything about it is just stout. Built like a brick shithouse, which matches the rest of this car. I need to get me more of these. I only have like 2 of them. I have enough to make 3 connections if I cut, 1 to 2. No biggie. These are fairly common. Those are just cross support bars you see underneath the hood. I can just take 1, and that'll be enough to give this a good look. However, I do need to modify that. So I'll just, take the lever off, cut it, extend it, just enough so it doesn't bottom out. It's not anchored to the it's not anchored down, so, but it does move forward. Oh yeah, that's fucking hard-on material right there.
Everybody noticed them. Jesus Christ, boys! Stay up with the fucking erection!
Well, this is all set in place. It's pretty rigid. I anchored it down pretty good to the transmission tunnel. Now we're going to add some flex. Started with these hooks. I'm going to connect it to this pipe. They're going to go into this box just to give it some mechanical, attraction. It's going to imitate the look somewhat of like a Lenco transmission because they actually have connecting rods to the shifting rods. So you got the shifting levers, you got a rod, and it goes all the way to one corner down to where it shifts the transmission. That's how a Lenco works. This is going to imitate that to a degree. It's not going to go to one side, it's just going to go straight into a box just to give it some look. Interesting mechanical look. More to the console, basically. And I just chose these hooks just because they work, they're easy, and they don't have much play. This one was a little bit tricky because it bent, and I didn't want them to hit each other, so I can either go to this hole, or I could just use this. I got room to play. Well, here it is, all assembled. Not connected to the transmission, not yet. Just a mock-up of how it's all going to be. See, that's how I envisioned it for the last how many years. To imitate the appearance of a Lenco transmission. Where basically, they have pivoting eye hooks connected to each rod. Or pivoting eye bolts, that's what it is. That's what they use, but I just use J hooks. It looks a little more mechanical that way. Check this out.
I'm getting horny. I'm getting horny.
That's what I'm fucking talking about. Doesn't that just give you a big pink boner? It does for me. My fuck. This car's coolness factor just went up a few pegs.
Good Lord! I'm getting a reading of over 40 megafonzies!
Eventually I'll work my way to the back, but front first. Next is to get it connected to the transmission. It's not that hard. Just a matter of drilling the hole, connecting that down to there with via cable and bracket setup, which I got in a kit, so it's all ready to go. I've got to get a step drill bit, drill a hole, use by just taking that off and just with an extension and just go right through it without taking too much parts off. And run the cable through, put the bracket onto the shifting linkage system on the side of the TH400 and just connect it all, and it should just work. Second, third, neutral, reverse. You know, I gotta say, I recall making a statement or an observation on one of my earlier videos about some BS I see on YouTube. If memory serves me correctly about that, it's how you got automotive types, automotive channels, and they got to put the word garage in their title. When you talk about, you know, beating a horse to death, it's been beaten to a fine fucking paste like peanut butter. And that's just one gripe I got. The other one I got is just in general, YouTube as a whole. And that's no matter who you subscribe, they literally whore themselves out and they harass the ever-living dog shit out of you to like and subscribe.
And remember, like and subscribe.
Be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell.
Be sure to subscribe. Like and subscribe right now.
Hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to like, subscribe.
Subscribe and hit that bell.
And make sure y'all like and subscribe. And subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button.
Make sure you smack that bell and subscribe.
Smack that like.
Subscribe to this channel if you are not already.
Be sure to subscribe to see.
Just go ahead and hit those like and subscribe buttons.
Jesus fucking Christ!
Yeah, it's fucking unreal. They don't think you're smart enough to find a big red button to hit. It's almost insulting to the viewers, you know? Now here's the thing. If you're really true to your content and you really respect the audience, you wouldn't harass them for like and subscribes for every fucking time they watch your videos. If they really like what you're doing, they'll do that for you. If a person's smart enough, to create their own YouTube account, they're sure shit's smart enough to subscribe and do that all on their own without holding their hand. I mean, fuck. I subscribe, great. Now can you hold my hand while I take a shit next? I mean, seriously, what the fuck? I've actually unsubscribed to certain channels because of that horse shit. I'm hearing the same fucking thing over and over again. Like and subscribe, and kiss my ass. Here, suck my dick. Say that every time in the beginning of a video. Thank you for watching my video. Please make sure to suck my dick. At least that would be kind of comical. Stand by my original statement. If they really like what you're doing, if you're honest to your viewers, they'll subscribe. They know where to find it. You don't need to harass them. It's just stupid that way. All in all, aside from my rantings and observations of stupid shit, the console is just about almost there. Just gotta, like, what's the word I'm thinking of? Just finalize it, that's all. Slam this bitch. I gotta say, this fucking thing is badass. Even though I'm gonna do this in a long parking lot for the obvious reasons, it's proven itself to be successful. Well, here it is, all complete and cleaned up. That's what I'm talking about. One less thing to worry about. On the other things about this car I gotta take care of. Day's coming to an end, I'm gonna give it a break. I think it got me a little treat. You know where that's gonna go. But until the next time, I'll catch you in the next video about this heap. There's always more to do to it.
And remember, like and subscribe. Or else.